Saving green.
What's going on, my lawn care ninjas? What is going on this surprising Sunday? So what am I doing today? Well, first and foremost, hope all you ninjas are having a good weekend. I am knocking out a few yards. I'm not gonna get all of them done that we didn't get to this last week, but I'm just gonna knock out a few so we have a lighter day this upcoming Monday and Tuesday. Thursday, we did all that maintenance stuff and it rained. It piss poured rain. You guys saw that. Friday, it wasn't supposed to rain, but it rained still overnight and into the morning, and it was soaking wet. Well, as a lot of you ninjas have said in that video, when we were doing those back brake pads, we had that one caliper pin stuck, and I kind of took a hammer and just beat it a little bit on there just because I needed to put the tire back together, and you know what I mean? It was getting dark and I wanted to go ahead and conclude it. Well, come to find out anyway, a lot of you ninjas were correct, so I want to thank each and every one of you. Like I said, man, I'm learning a lot of this stuff as I'm going, not just about the brake stuff, but in general, as a lot of times maybe you are as well. But so I told Busy Bee the following morning, it was raining. I was like, we can't start mowing yet. It's freaking raining. It's wet. You know, the rain was supposed to have stopped at some point during that day, but I said, we need to go ahead and look at that caliper again and that caliper pin. We even tried it that day when we did all the maintenance stuff. We tried to beat on that thing and it just would not budge. So we ended up taking it to a shop just down the road. By the time I got there, because Busy Bee was following me in the Black Knight, the Dark Knight, and the Dodge, the brakes was just smoking. I mean, the smell of the brake pad and the rotor was just terrible. They were able to beat that pin out, and I'll go ahead and show you here in a second. We'll go out there and I'll get on their truck and show you it's a new pin. So now it's in good shape. But anyway, so by the time we got all that done, then we went back home and hooked Tiny back up to the trailer and all that. We ended up just doing like 5-6 yards that day, and it was already getting pretty late. So 5 yards, I think, is what we did. So it is what it is. We didn't get a whole lot done. And then yesterday I was originally planning on having a video, ninjas, but man, we were just hauling tail. I don't even know how many we did, honestly. Yesterday we did a lot, and we worked really, really late. If you follow me on Instagram at sg_ninjas_official, you'll see on the story post we worked really, really late. But we didn't get the chance to finish everything, so I'm gonna go knock out a few today myself, and then we'll just have to finish the rest into tomorrow. But I want to go ahead and show you before I get started. As you can see, fall is pretty much here, ninjas. This is basically what I can go ahead and expect just about every single one of my yards, which is one of the reasons I got that stand-on blower. But if we go down here and if we look, the bottom pin of this caliper got stuck on us. A lot of you will remember if you watched that video. This is the upper one right here, and you can see this one is brand new. So these, they're supposed to float. They're supposed to be able to move. This one locked in on us, and that's probably due to, every time, I'm aware that there's more to a brake job than just changing your pads and keeping an eye on your rotors. But you have to also keep in mind when you're self-employed, which a lot of you probably are, but those of you who are not or maybe thinking about, when a lot of times this kind of stuff will wear out on you in the worst time. And so when you find out or discover that, you're always just trying to, you know, replace it, what needs to be replaced, and you don't really think about little stuff like this. So, you know, we just change the pads real quickly, or the rotors if needed. But these things are a big part of your brake job right here. So these pins, you see there's a rubber there, they have to be able to move, and that is the new rubber sleeve on there. So I haven't had time, of course, even that day, but when I do get some time this fall, I'm gonna go around each tire, and each tire has 2 pins, and I'm gonna go ahead and either replace all of them or just at least make sure they're greased. I'll look at them and assess it from there on. But anyway, so that is what really held us up that Friday. quick little granny yard, no big deal. Hey, I wanted to show you. So we replaced that spring with you ninjas that day, but remember we didn't have this other side, so we got it now. I also finally leveled this out. It was bent because I caught a corner of the street, I think even last year maybe, or a year and a half ago, and I never really just beat it back, but I finally did it. And I'm wondering now if this being bent had a lot to do with this spring snapping, because what would happen is this spring would always snap first, and then I just never get around to it quickly to replace it. Then I just go on that one, and then the other one snaps, just I think because of the weight and just being one spring. So I don't know if that's the reason or not, but finally got it straightened out. But I wanted to show you how light it is when you add the new springs, and of course you got the gorilla lifts. I mean, I can do it with my foot, but I can do it with a pinky. See? Pretty easy. And you catch it and it goes right back. And then of course you get the other side. Also, to answer, a lot of you have been asking me, why am I using the Bumblebee so much instead of well, when I had the Ferris, for example, or the sgninjas mower. And to be quite honest with you, the only reason I'm using it is I'm not keeping this mower. This mower is parting ways, so I want to go ahead and just use it as long as I have it. Why not? I paid for it, I bought it, and before I trade it in, I like to get those hours up there. All right, Ninja, so I just finished with this airport parking lot. I didn't record here, well, it's part of the airport parking lot, but let's go ahead and conclude this video before I lose any more daylight here, and I am done for today. So we're gonna go ahead and make this video about the Spartan SRT XD 61. Some of you might remember I made a video at the 50-hour mark, so now I'm making a video at the 100-hour mark. And if I still have it, of course, and treats me well and continue to use it, I'll make another one probably around maybe 200-hour mark or something like that. Basically, I'm just keeping you ninjas updated as far as what I discover, what I find out, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. And it is right at 100 hours. So let's see, it's 102.1, so pretty close, pretty close. And actually, that's a lot of hours for a machine that, as I mentioned earlier, you know, when it's not your main machine. I've only had it for a few months, so I've raked up a decent amount of hours in a short period of time. So let me go ahead and start with, first and foremost, do I still like the mower? Yes, I still like the mower. Does it still work? Yes, it does. Does it still do what I need it to do? Of course it does. So, you know, all those things are very important, and all those things are still there. Comfort is absolutely still top notch. Quality of the cut, for, you know, what I have seen, depending, of course, everybody's area is going to be different on that. We all know, you know, different types of grass and things, but for my area, it does a great job. Overall, I still like the mower and it does a good job, but there's a couple of things that have failed on me and a couple of things that I am concerned, and I'm just going to give you my input, my opinion on it, but you know, to each his own on that one. So first and foremost, a lot of you already may know, maybe not. First thing that went out on me is the fuel gauge. I still have not had a chance to swing by the dealership to get that replaced, so it's just one of those things I'm constantly having to just check in here and look at it. But other than that, that's not a big deal. Now, some of these things I'm going to go ahead and point out to you. I want to say that they can happen to all mowers of all brands, so I'm just kind of throwing that out there, okay? So, you know, you can say, oh, that can happen to any mower. Of course it can, but I'm not reviewing other brands of mowers at the moment. We're covering the Spartan SRT XD, so just want to go ahead and throw that out there. So that was the first thing that went out. The second thing that went out is my throttle. And I'm not saying that it went out on specifically that it's not working. It is, but it's gotten weak on me, so when I throttle it all the way up, it will not stay there. After literally one pass, maybe pass and a half to 2 passes, after I hit a couple of bumps, it goes back to about right here and I lose power. So I'm constantly having to touch this with my hand and push on it and make sure that it's throttled all the way up. So I have improvised, of course, a little bit. I took this bungee and I basically just keep it right there, and it's just enough power and just enough, you know, tension to keep that throttle all the way up. So that's another thing. I mean, of course, I'll have to either just tighten that up, if it's even an option to tighten that up. If it's not, then maybe it's just something that needs to be replaced. So that's the second thing. Third thing that I noticed, ninjas, and at first I thought maybe it would just do it one time, 2 times, you know, but then it kept getting repetitive. So to me, I think there needs to be something in place where it'll lock it in, or maybe just change up a different design. I don't really know. You know what I mean? I love the idea of this knob right here. Here, I'll get on it, show you. And I think it's very easy and very convenient. For those of you who may not be familiar with Spartan, and maybe you didn't catch the last couple of videos, but it's very easy to adjust your deck height. You just press on it right here and then you adjust it to where you want it. So let's say we put it at 3 inches right there with the arrow right there, and then you just let go of it. One thing I've noticed, it does not want to go all the way down, so that's another one. So I'm constantly having to do this. But back to the knob right here. So one of the things I don't like about this knob, and you ninjas are welcome to comment down below, let me know if you're having the same issue, for those of you who own a Spartan. If I put it at 3 inches, for example, or it doesn't matter, 4 inches, and I am mowing and I am, you know, hitting bumps, this deck will hit a bump, come up, and this will change on me without me noticing it. And so here I am mowing, right, and I make a pass, and all of a sudden I'm noticing that I'm shooting a lot more grass. You know, the motor is working a lot harder, and I'm like, what is going on? Did something get stuck? And I glance down and it's gone from 4 inches to 3 inches, or if it's at 3, it'll go down to like 2 1/4 or at 2. I don't like that, because ninjas, that can really complicate things. If you, some of us, you know, may not catch that, and you may end up mowing the whole yard, half a yard, whatever, on a completely different height than you either have planned to do or told your customers that you will, and then you end up finding out that it's a completely different height. So that's just another thing that at least I've had issues with. I don't know if some of you others who own this mower have had, but it changes on you. It doesn't do it at every yard, but if I approach a super bumpy yard, it will do this to me. That would be the other thing that I have discovered: the throttle, the fuel gauge. Now, I have mentioned this in my 50-hour review. These do go loose. You have to keep tightening them. I know a lot of you ninjas have suggested it to, you know, how to fix that, and I'm quite aware of that. I just haven't had time. I have tightened it once more since that last video, and right now it's okay. It's not as bad as it was last time I made a 50-hour review, but they are loosening up again, so I'm gonna have to tighten them. But I will fix that. That's I know the permanent fix on that. I just haven't had a chance to do that. But okay, other than that, like as far as the Vanguard 37 horsepower, you know, oil guard system, all that is good stuff. I haven't had any issues over here in the back, so that's nothing to talk about. I've covered that in the last one. One last thing, ninjas, what I think that does not work, just in my opinion. So they got this baffle system right here, and it's supposed to suck up more air in your deck and catch all those little stragglers that might not get cut by the blade. And it's a great idea, and I think it works, but here's the problem: it only works until it clogs up, which is not long. It clogs up very quickly, especially if you're cutting dewy, you know, grass or moist grass or wet grass. But even if I'm not cutting wet grass, it just builds up over time. So I think the idea is great, but it's just not, at least for me. Again, I'm only speaking for me. I don't want to make a mess here. I just blew off, but it's not working. It is building up, and I have a habit of it now, constantly checking it, and as you just seen a minute ago with my foot, cleaning it up. It just builds up right here on this corner. As far as their chute, this is a Spartan's design chute. It works great, hasn't given me any issues. You can open it halfway right there, and then you can open it all the way. So as far as the chute goes, that is their own brand chute, and it works just fine. The LED light works perfectly fine, comes actually real handy. There's been several times I've used it. We're mowing really late. One last thing I want to go ahead and point out that I have noticed. I've done maintenance on this several times, cleaning out the deck, sharpening the blades. And of course I like to take these covers off because that way I can blow off and thoroughly get anything that may be underneath, like grass or anything. And these knobs are a pain in the butt to take off. I don't know if they tighten during while you're using it. So this one's not too bad right now, but I have literally had to get, and you can see where I've cut it up with pliers. See, this one I can't even turn it. I can't even turn it. Okay, so I don't know, they get super tight, but I don't know what the reason is, what I'm trying to say. Other than that, I didn't know if I was gonna like this plastic or not, but I actually do. It's pretty durable. As you guys might have seen in the past, you can actually comfortably even step on this. Not that you should, but you can. So it's not something that will bend or break. And I do get it why they went with the plastic here. It's because the vibration, so that way it doesn't make any sound or noise. So that's good. It's just these knobs are a pain. So there's my 100-hour review, ninjas. Hope that's helped you. If you have one, something to keep an eye on. If you are thinking about buying one, something to be aware of. I love the mower. I truly still enjoy it. I love the fact, especially, I don't have to do any oil changes for the next 400 hours. And you know, the cut quality and the deck durability and all that is solid. The Vanguard 37 horsepower is solid. The seat, the comfort itself is solid. Has plenty of fuel capacity. I'm not really sure how many gallons just right now on top of my head. Don't hold me to it if I say it's probably something like 9 or 8, maybe 12, but it's something like that, between 8 and 12. So there's plenty of fuel in here. It's just I need to get this fixed so that way I know how much is in there. We've come very close a few times running out in the middle of the yard, and I had to rush back to the truck and refill. So it's just one of those things. It's not major, but it definitely it's a convenience thing. Just like the throttle, it's not major, but it is a convenience thing. And if I have to constantly put my foot, hand on here, I almost said foot, put my hand on here, or have a bungee, it's just it's a convenience thing. Like I said, one more time, that can happen to any mower. All these things that I pointed out can happen to any mower, except that baffle thing. I don't know if other brands have that or not, but it can happen to any mower. But I am reviewing the Spartan, so I'm just talking about the Spartan. As far as anything else, I haven't had any other issues as far as belts or pulleys. I haven't had any issues with tires. I haven't had any issues with the motor. I haven't had any issues with the deck or the blades or anything like that. So overall, ninjas, it's still a really good mower, and I would totally recommend it for anyone who might be in the market for purchasing one, whatever size deck you end up looking at. And I think Spartan's got I don't know about their new stand-ons. For a lot of you who might not have heard, maybe you have, they do have new stand-ons coming out, so I don't know about prices on that. We'll be demoing one here soon, so stay tuned on that. But as far as the sit downs, and from what I've seen, you really, no other brand, I don't think personally, can touch them on price wise. I think they are the most affordable. You're getting a whole lot of mower for your buck, is what I'm saying. But that's just my opinion, and that's just, again, what I've seen around and gotten some information and whatnot. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. It's nothing crazy. I just did a few yards myself. I didn't record all of them. I just recorded that one at the dentist office. But time to go back home, get ready for tomorrow, Pump Monday. Busy Bee will be here. We've got a good sized list, so I don't even know if I'll make a video tomorrow or not. We'll see. And yeah, I hope all you guys have had a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed. If you were out here, were you out here mowing? Do you guys work on Sundays if you have to? I don't like to, of course, but if we get affected by rain, I have to. And of course, it's not just the rain that slowed us down the first day. The second day, I had issues, of course, as you guys saw earlier, with Tiny and that caliper pin. So I got that fixed. Tiny's doing good right now. But anyway, just thought I'd give you my 100-hour review opinion, and some of the things I have discovered and encountered. Thank you for watching for another video. I appreciate you, ninjas. Get away from me, Buck. What would you?
Saving green.
And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Yeah.